What is going on YouTube and weight loss warriors? It's your boy C-Dub and I'm back with another video. And today I want to talk about overeating and your one meal. And I'm going to do it right after this. What is happening? I am C-Dub, and if it's your first time clicking on this channel, I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to tell you that I've lost 125 pounds eating one meal a day. And if you're a returning weight loss warrior, I want to thank you for your support. So we have an important topic today, and I wanted to kind of tackle it because it's a question that I get all of the time. And what that question is am I overeating my meal, or how do I tell when I'm overeating my meal? Or the other one is, how many calories do I need to eat in my one meal? And those questions are all intelligent questions that everybody should ask, but when you really get to it and you really want to break it down, it's really tricky because each one of us is individually different. We're all different heights, we're all different weights, we all have different muscle mass, and we're male or female, and all of those different things play into what we're doing. So when we're talking about eating one meal, I cannot give you an exact amount of calories that you need to eat versus the other person and back and forth. I can tell you that I would guesstimate I eat 2,000 calories, and that's where I wanted to start because I said guesstimate. And a lot of you will say, well, don't you know? Haven't you counted? And the answer to that is no. I've been on this journey for now 18 months, and I don't really count, and I never really have. And I sort of have a general idea, and I did do a video one time where I broke it down. You can check that on the channel. Matter of fact, I'll throw it in the description. But in that video, I broke down the calories that I ate that day, and it was around 1,900. And so that's kind of what I would think that I do, but I might have a day where I eat 2,500 calories, might also have a day in which I eat much, much less. So how do you know what to do? And as crazy as it sounds, I think the first step is to just start doing OMAD. If you start eating just one meal a day, what will happen is most likely you'll be in a calorie deficit. And over the course of time, you're going to start losing weight. And so you're not really, most likely not going to overeat that meal. And so as your weight trickles down, you will hit some bumps in the road where you're plateauing and you might need to eat a little less or a little more. But I think that you learn how to do that through the course of doing OMAD, and you learn what is right for you, and it self-corrects itself, if that makes any sense. And your balance will end up getting much better with the intake of food that you're taking. And I think some people then worry about when they get into maintenance and are they eating enough, and I really don't think we have to worry about those things. I think one thing you guys need to understand too is that a lot of times calories aren't even accurate. And now there are laws that say that if you sell a certain amount of food, you have to have a label how many calories are in that food, but it's not exact. The labels don't have to be accurate. They have to guess how many calories are in that food. They don't take the time to actually run it. And if you kind of understand that, and most of the time when they're tested, they under-evaluate the calories anyways. So, you know, really if you look at something and it says 200 calories, it's probably 250. So when we're talking about that, it makes things extremely tricky and confusing and everything else. So you got to get in touch with your body. And how do you do that? You do that by doing OMAD. With that said, I do think that there is a little bit of common sense that you need to understand, and if you can get that going, I think everything's going to be all right. And what I mean is, you should not eat until you're sick. You should not eat until you're stuffed or you're slowing down. And it's going to happen. It's going to happen to all of us in OMAD. It's going to happen to all of us just in life that we're going to overindulge, but we have to be consciously aware that we've done that. And that's the big first step. A really good example of that is at my last night's dinner, I ate and I didn't feel right the rest of the night. And I knew that or overeaten. So in the process of knowing that that has happened, now I can rein it back today and I can do a little less and kind of understand where my balance is in that situation. So you shouldn't sit down and just go to town to a point that you feel sick. And if you are in your OMAD, and I think that this does happen to people, is they go through the day and they're obsessing with food, and when they get into the point in which it's time to eat, they don't stop until they're sick. And I think that happens in the beginning, but I think you get over it. I think it's something that eventually your hunger goes down, it dissipates a little bit, you start to feel better about yourself, and I think that it will correct itself over time. And you're still most likely in a deficit, even though you're eating to a point that you're sick, especially in the beginning, especially if you're obese. If you're talking about you're 100 pounds overweight, you can't possibly eat the calories that you normally would have been eating through the course of that entire day in one sitting. So you've automatically pushed yourself into a deficit just by eating one meal. So if you're eating till you get sick in the beginning, you're going to be okay. You're going to go down and down and down. And the more times you eat when you're eating to be sick, you're going to realize that you don't want to feel that way, and you're going to self-correct. At least that's my opinion of the situation. So when you're sitting down and you're trying to come up with exactly how many calories you need to eat, I don't think it's something you have to worry about in the beginning. I really, truly, honestly believe that if you just sit down and eat a meal one time, you're going to be okay. And back to the subject I've talked about many times, of course you would like to avoid fast food. And of course you would like to avoid going to the restaurants every single night. And of course you would like to stick to whole fruits and vegetables and meats. That is absolutely the way to go. But if you're going to go out and you're going to do those things, you still probably are okay as long as you're doing it in one sitting and as long as you're not eating till you are sick. You would love to get into a place where you fill one plate up, and you sit down and you make it a nice plate. You don't stack it 10 feet high, and you eat your nice plate of food. And that most likely is a better way to handle your situation. But at the end of the day, just get started by eating one meal. And if you can get started by eating one meal, over time, you will be able to correct it. All right, that's all I got for you today. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.